Good morning, children. So today we'll start off with a new chapter called as your mineral nutrition. Okay. Now, darlings, whenever we use the particular mineral nutrition, the first terminologies for the day is your hydroponics. What is it, children? It's nothing but your hydroponics. Okay. Now, what do you mean by hydroponics? It is nothing but a technique of growing a plant in a soilless solution. Okay. I repeat again. It is a technique of growing plants in a soilless particular solution. What do you mean by exactly it? You will take water, anything. You will fill in the particular nutrients, whatever is required with the water, but there will be absolutely no soil present. And of course, you have a plant growing. Okay. So this particular terminology, we usually call it as your hydroponics. What do we call it as, darlings? We call it as your hydroponics. Okay. Now, who was the first person who actually demonstrated it? It was none other than a particular person named Julius Sachs. Okay, what was his name? Julius von Sachs. He was a German scientist who discovered hydroponics in the year 1860. Okay, so he discovered this particular process or a technique in the year 1860. And what does it exactly help in? What it exactly helped in the particular doing? It usually identifies the essential elements required for the plants and the deficiency symptoms. Mean to say, example, plants require few of the elements, not all the elements whichever is present in the soil. Okay, so in that particular thing, it will help to know essential elements. Okay, probably there are 100 elements in the soil. Okay, probably the plant might require about 17 of it. Okay, so if at all those elements are not there, what will happen? So which will lead to a deficiency symptoms. Okay, so that was the main advantage of your particular hydroponics. Okay, okay. Now moving on to the next particular thing. Criteria for essentiality of an element. Okay, now if at all I need to call an element a very essential element, what are the criteria has to be there? The element must be necessary for a normal growth. Am I clear to you? What is it, children? It should be necessary for the normal growth. Am I clear to you? Next one. In the absence of that element, the plant should not be able to complete the life cycle. If at all I remove nitrogen, the plant shouldn't be able to complete its life cycle. Okay, it should wait for it, should want for it, or else it's of no use. Okay, so in the absence of that, the plant shouldn't grow, it shouldn't complete its life cycle. Only then we will say yes, it is very very essential for the particular plant. Am I clear to you? Moving on ahead to the next one. The deficiency of an element cannot be met by supplying any other element. Mean to say, now imagine I'll remove nitrogen. Okay, the nitrogen property shouldn't be supplied by any other element like the sulfur, particular potassium, calcium. No, nobody should supply whatever the nitrogen is supplying. So it should be a whole and soul. Am I clear to you? Moving on to the next one. Must directly involve in a plant metabolism. Where it should be directly involved, children? It should be involved in the plant metabolism. So whenever we use the essential element, it should be required for your normal growth. Okay. The second one, what is it, Makla? In the absence of it, the plant shouldn't be able to complete the life cycle. Deficiency of element cannot be met by any other element, must directly involve in the plant metabolism. So these are the particular criteria for the essential elements. Moving ahead, Makla. Classification on elements based on the functions. Okay, so now we are classifying the elements based on the functions. Now what do you mean by it? So then the components of the biomolecule and the structure element of the cells. Okay, now what is it? Example, a carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Now this is a different type of classification. ಏನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? You're classifying according to the biomolecules. Example, now see, carbon is a particular component for many biomolecules. Okay, it is a component for many biomolecules. Same way with your nitrogen. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು DNA ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Am I clear to you, okay? So like that. Second thing, the components of energy related. For example, if you take ATP, your phosphorus will become a particular component in your energy. Okay, same way, darlings, when we use magnesium, okay, it will become a particular component of your chlorophyll. Am I clear? Okay. The third one is your essential elements that activate or inhibit the enzymes, like your potassium functions in the opening and the closing of the stomata. So basically, these are the other type of the classification where the elements are the part of your biomolecules energy related, and they also act like an activator or inhibitor of the enzymes. Okay, so these are the particular classification of the elements based on the functions. Okay, Makla? Moving ahead, the next particular thing is your macro elements. Okay. Now coming to your macro elements, these are the particular nutrients which are required for the plant more than 10 millimole per kg of the dry matter. Okay. So they are required more than 10 millimole per kg. Okay. So that is called as your macronutrients. Now under that, let's go one by one. Now the first one is your nitrogen. Okay, children, first one is what? Nitrogen. Now this is your essential nutrient element required by the plant, and it is absorbed in the form of your NOx. Okay. Now it is required by all the plants, particularly your meristematic tissue. Okay. Whenever the meristematic tissue has to multiply, okay, the nitrogen has to be supplied in a more amount. Am I clear to you? And they are usually metabolically active cells. What they are, children? They are usually metabolically active cells. Now, it's one of the major constituents of what and what? Proteins, nucleic acid, vitamins, and hormones. All these are your particular major constituents of the nitrogen. Nitrogen, they are usually present in your proteins, okay, nucleic acids, vitamins, and hormones. So all these particular constituents, your nitrogen plays a very important role. I repeat again, it is absorbed as NO3 minus, okay, it is required by the meristematic cells, it is a major constituent of the protein, nucleic acid, vitamins, and your hormones. Moving ahead, the next one is your phosphorus. What is it, Makla? Phosphorus. Now, coming to your phosphorus, children, usually phosphorus is absorbed as phosphate ions. Okay, what is it absorbed as? Phosphate ions. So that is nothing but your H2PO4 minus. Okay, so that is the particular thing. Now, it's a constituent of the cell membrane, proteins, nucleic acid, and nucleotides. Okay, so it is a constituent of all these particular things. Cell membranes, proteins, nucleic acid, and nucleotides. Whereas your nitrogen, I repeat again, for nitrogen it is proteins, nucleic acid, vitamins, and hormones. Okay. And then in a phosphorus it is nothing but your particular cell membranes, proteins, nucleic acid, and nucleotides. Okay. Now mainly your phosphorus helps in your phosphorylation. Now what do you mean by phosphorylation? It's nothing but your addition of inorganic phosphate to your ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate, to give rise to your ATP, that is your adenosine triphosphate, which is your energy. Am I clear to you? So usually it is helped in what, Makla? It is helped in your phosphorylation reactions. Moving ahead, the next one is your particularly potassium, which was the first one you learned. It was none other than your nitrogen. Afterwards, what was it? Phosphorus. After phosphorus, potassium. Okay. Now coming to your potassium, it is absorbed in the form of your potassium ion, that is your K plus. Okay. Moving ahead, it is required in more quantities in meristematic tissues, buds, leaves, and root tips. Now, remember, meristematic activity was also done by nitrogen. Okay. Now, comparatively, when we speak about both nitrogen and potassium, Makla, it is your potassium which will maintain meristematic activity. Of course, your nitrogen also helps, but potassium do also help. Okay. When you take a ratio, potassium is a better particular, shows a meristematic activity, and usually it is required by our bud leaves and root tips. Why? Usually at the shoot apex and the root apex. Okay, shoot apex and the root apex, your meristematic activity will be at the peak. Okay, so in these particular regions you require a particular meristematic activity, and henceforth it is potassium which will be more concentrated at these two regions. Moving ahead, Makla, it helps to maintain an anion and a cation balance in the cells. Okay, what it will help in? It helps in the anion and a cation balance in the cells. And moreover, it also involves protein synthesis. What is it involved in, Makla? It is involved in your protein synthesis. And of course, as you already told, potassium helps in the closing and the opening of the stomata, and it also activates enzymes making turgidity of the cells. Okay, I repeat again, it is absorbed as a potassium K plus. Okay, it is required in more quantity other than the meristematic tissues. When I say meristematic tissue, it will be your shoot apex and your root apex. Am I clear to you? So basically your bud leaves, root tips, all these things contains your potassium more. Now it helps to maintain your anion cation balance in your particular cells. It is involved in your protein synthesis, opening and closing of the stomata. Also it helps in the activation of enzymes, maintains the turgidity of the cells. Okay, so these are the important points of a particular potassium. Moving ahead, the next one is your calcium. Okay, when it comes to calcium, it is absorbed as calcium ions. What is it absorbed as? Calcium ions. Okay, it is required by your meristic tissues and differentiating tissues. What is it required by children? It is required by your meristematic tissues. Now, what do you mean by differentiating tissues? Differentiation. What do you mean by differentiation? It is nothing but the capacity of the cells to lose the division. Okay, where the cells have lost the capacity to divide. So that's called as your differentiating cells. Okay, so during the cell division, what happens? It is used in the synthesis of a cell wall formation. So calcium mainly helps in what, Maka? It is mainly helps in the synthesis of the cell wall. Okay. Now, it is also required in the formation of your mitotic spindle fibers. Okay. What is it also required by? Mitotic spindle fibers. Next. It is accumulated more in the older leaves. Where is it accumulated more? More in the older leaves. Am I clear to you? And it is involved in the normal functioning of the cell membrane. What is it mainly involved in? It is involved in the normal functioning of the cell membrane. I repeat again, what is it? It is absorbed as calcium ions, okay? And it is required by the meristematic tissues and differentiating tissues. During cell division, it is used in the process of the cell wall, requiring during the formation of a spindle fibers, accumulation in the older leaves, involved in a normal functioning of the cell membrane. So these are the important points of your calcium. Okay, children, what are these? These are the important points of a particular calcium. Now, moving ahead. Next one is your magnesium. Okay. Now coming to your magnesium, children, it is usually a divalent magnesium ion. So activates an enzymes for respiration, photosynthesis, and also the synthesis of DNA and RNA. What is it helping in children? It activates the enzymes for respiration, photosynthesis, and the synthesis of DNA and your RNA. So all these things are your main particular criteria of what, children? Of the magnesium. Okay. So coming back to the class, I will repeat again. For the magnesium, it is absorbed in the form of divalent magnesium ions, activates enzyme of respiration, photosynthesis, and also the synthesis of DNA and RNA. Magnesium is a constituent of a ring structure of a chlorophyll. This is important. Okay, so magnesium is a constituent of the ring structure of the chlorophyll. So all these are the very important points of your magnesium. Okay, it is absorbed in the form of your divalent magnesium ions, activates enzymes for respiration, photosynthesis, and also the synthesis of DNA and RNA. Magnesium is a constituent of a ring structure of a chlorophyll. Okay, moving ahead. Coming to your sulfur. So then usually the sulfur is in the form of sulfates, that is nothing but SO4 2 minus. It is present in two amino acids, that is your cysteine and methionine. Okay, so these are the two particular amino acids. Cysteine and methionine. Okay, now it's a constitutes of several coenzymes like vitamins and ferredoxins. Okay, so these are the particular constituents. What did I say? Plants obtain the sulfur in the form of sulfates. Two amino acids, it's a component of two amino acids. Cysteine and methionine. It's a constituent of several coenzymes, that is your vitamins and your ferredoxins. These are the functions of your sulfur. Now, just for your revision, okay. Macronutrients ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. Once again I'm telling you so that you will not forget it. Nitrogen, this is an essential element required. That you, it's okay, but you remember this. It is absorbed as what? NO3 minus, required by all the parts of the plant, especially your meristematic tissues and metabolically active cells. Okay, it is a major constituent of what and what, makle? Proteins, nucleic acid, vitamins and hormones. Nitrogen na ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀತೀವಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇದೆ, even in your hormones and vitamins you have your nitrogen present. So don't forget about this. Am I clear to you? Moving ahead, next one was your phosphorus. Main thing, phosphorus, phospholipids, okay, so where they're within cell membrane. Of course, they are present in your proteins. Nucleic acid phospholipids and the nucleotides. Okay, okay. You have your phosphate as a backbone of a DNA. Yes or no? So phosphorylation, that is your ATP generation. ಆ ರೀತಿ ನೆನಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯನ್ರೋ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾಸ್ಫೋಲಿಪಿಡ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಇಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ okay so when I say nucleic acid nucleotides your phosphate has a backbone remember that okay phosphorylation nothing but your addition of inorganic phosphate to your ADP to form your ATP so remember it in that way again the next one was what potassium okay so basically nitrogen the next one what was phosphorus the next one is your potassium am I clear to you so it is absorbed as potassium ion okay it is required in more quantities by meristematic cells so root root tip and the shoot tip anta nanu ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇವಾಗ it helps to maintain your anion cation balance involved in the protein synthesis especially helps in the opening and closing of the stomata and also maintains the turgidity of the cells so remember these particular points okay moving ahead calcium so when it comes to the calcium 2 plus so meristematic require it and also differentiating cells require it remember cell wall formation ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಮ cells are losing the capacity to divide so cell wall formation so somewhere they require calcium so during the cell division the synthesis of the cell wall calcium so required also for a particular mitotic spindle formation okay it accumulates more and what it accumulates more in your middle leaves involved in the function of cell membranes okay it is involved in the functioning of the cell membranes moving ahead to the magnesium it is absorbed in the form of divalent magnesium 2 plus okay next one is children it activates enzyme for respiration photosynthesis and also the synthesis of DNA yavyadu photosynthesis respiration and the synthesis of a DNA and RNA so magnesium is a constituent of a ring structure of the chlorophyll okay so in the particular chlorophyll you have a magnesium also present moving ahead the next one is your sulfur okay now coming to your particular sulfur okay plants obtain sulfur in the form of sulfates okay so it is present in two amino acids that is your cysteine and methionine so remember this two amino acids yavyadu cysteine and methionine it's a constituent of several coenzymes okay yavyadu ferredoxin and your particular vitamins and coenzymes so constituents of several coenzymes vitamins and ferredoxins ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಡ್ರ sulfur am I clear to you so sulfates cysteine and methionine coenzymes vitamins and ferredoxins so remember it like this moving ahead the next one is your micronutrients now coming back to your micronutrients children whenever we use micronutrients it is nothing but the nutrients which is required less than 10 millimole per kg macro andre eno more than 10 millimole per kg this is your less than 10 millimole per kg now under that the first one is what Mark? The first one is nothing but your iron okay now usually the iron are usually in the form of ferric ions okay so the plants absorb the ions in the iron especially in the ferric ion form it is an important constituent involved in the transfer of electrons like your ferredoxin and cytochromes ell nodidri idana in nothing but in your ETC that is your electron transport chain yes or no so where you have your particular ferredoxin and your cytochromes present and your iron was helping you over there am I clear to you for what was it helping in darlings it was helping in your transfer of what sweetheart it was helping in a transfer of your electrons okay it was helping in the transfer of the electrons so there you required your ions now moving ahead it is reversibly oxidized to Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus okay so oxidation and reduction process will be happening simultaneously during the electron transfer now it activates an enzymes and it is essential for the formation of what it is essential in the formation of your chlorophyll okay so I repeat again what is it plants obtain iron in the form of ferric ions so basically it is helpful in ETC where you have ferredoxin and cytochrome in between you have iron which transfers the electrons okay and there is of course an oxidation and reduction process happening between them and it is a component essential for the formation of your chlorophyll so for chlorophyll formation it is very essential moving ahead manganese okay now coming to your manganese it is absorbed in the form of manganese ions okay now it activates many enzymes involved in photosynthesis okay respiration nitrogen metabolism. Okay, so it is activating the enzymes for what makla enzyme na activate manutte. Why? You require that photosynthesis to happen. Am I clear to you? And especially even in also in the splitting of the water also it plays an important role. Okay, next one of course in the respiration and nitrogen metabolism. Respiration and of course it will be in your particular Kreis cycle. All those places you have your respiration taking place. The best function is, as I already told you, splitting of the water. Okay, photohydrolysis. Okay, in photohydrolysis, where your particular water gets split up in the presence of your particular light, especially where children in the photosystem too. So near the photosystem too, you have your water splitting up where you require the manganese added over it. Why? Darling, you require your water to get split up, okay, to liberate your protons and your oxygen. So for this sake, you require your manganese as a component. Okay, okay? Now moving ahead. Zinc, it is obtained in a zinc ion form. Again, it is a divalent ion. Okay, it activates various enzymes, especially of carboxylases. Okay, it is needed for the synthesis of oxygen. Okay, so oxygen we have already learned about it. It's on hospitals because oxygen plays a very important role in what? Plant growth promoters. Okay, so plant obtain the particular zinc in a form of zinc divalent ion. It activates various enzymes, especially carboxylases, and needed for the synthesis of oxygen. Moving ahead, copper. Now, children, the copper is usually absorbed in the form of cupric ions. What is it absorbed in the form of ions? It is associated with a certain enzymes involved in redox reaction and reversibly oxidized to copper plus to copper 2 plus. So, oxidation and reduction here also. Especially this will take place during your again ETC, electron transport chain. So, electron transport chain is copper essential and okay. So, that is about your copper. Moving ahead, that's one is your boron. Okay, so coming to your boron, it is required for the update and the utilization of calcium. Calcium na plant absorb ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂದಗಳ you require your boron also over there. Okay, so it helps in the membrane functioning. It also helps in pollen germination, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. What is the particular complex required for the pollen tube to germinate? What is the important components required for the pollen tube to germinate? Answer me. Answer me. What is the component required for the pollen tube to germinate? Bebega. ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಲ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ರಿಯಾಜ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋ ರಾಕಿ ಬಾಯ್ ಹಾ ಬೋರಾನ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಾಯ್ತು ಕಣೋ ರಾಕಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದು ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರೇನ್ರೋ ಇನ್ನ excellent Rajni, very good, very good. Calcium, Bharat, tappu kano, synergy no, cell no puta. Purnima, calcium, excellent. Calcium, boron, and one more thing. I want one more. Chlorine alla rock. Excellent Umesha. Glucose, but glucose ಯಾವ form ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? Complex glucose form. Excellent, excellent. Very good. Okay, very good makla. So we require the particular boron in a form of your calcium, boron, okay, inositol complex. What is it? Inositol complex. Remember this. Inositol is nothing but your complex sugar molecules. I repeat again. Okay, what is it? The pollen tube germinate agadike. What is the nutrient required? Calcium on inositol complex. Okay, inositol is the one which is a complex sugar molecules. Okay, so coming back to the point, okay. A boron, it is required for the update of the utilization of calcium ions. It is helping in a membrane functioning, pollen germination. 1 minute. Pollen germination, cell elongation, and cell differentiation. So this is the main function of your boron. Okay. Pollen germination andre pollen tube growth correct. So pollen tube grow agtide andre enaagtide the cell is elongating, correct or not? What is happening? The cell is elongating. So darlings, remember that cell elongation. Am I clear to you? So don't forget about this particular thing, children. What is it? Boron, it is required for the uptake and the utilization of calcium, membrane functioning, pollen germination, cell elongation, and cell differentiation. Okay. Molybdenum, it is absorbed in the form of molybdenum ions. It is a component of several enzymes including nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. Okay, I repeat again. It is a component of several enzymes including nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. So this is a component where the molybdenum will be there under all the enzymes. Moving ahead, the next one is your chlorine. Now, children, it is absorbed in the form of chlorine and ion. What is it absorbed in the form of? Chlorine and ion. It helps in determining the solute concentration, anion and cation balance in the cells. Okay, so it is absorbed in the form of what? Chloride and ion. It helps in determining the solute concentration. Okay, so anion cation balance in the cell. It is essential for the water splitting reaction. ಇವಾಗ ತಾನೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ವಾಟರ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ which reaction center water splitting will take place in which reaction center is it which photosystem basically answer me ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳತ್ತರ್ಲೆ where are you guys ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ which particular photosystem excellent ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ photosystem 2 very good ETC electrolysis ETS electron transport CL actually S ಅಲ್ಲ excellent ದೀಪ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು your photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಸೋನು ಇಫ್ರಾ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಹರ್ಷಿತಾ ಕಾವ್ಯ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಪೂಜಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾವತಿ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ yes so your hydrolysis will take place near a particular photosystem 2 okay so in the photosynthesis a reaction that leads to your oxygen evolution what it will lead to then it will lead to your particular oxygen evolution okay now darlings moving ahead deficiency symptom I'll do one thing once again I re-revise you for that particular micronutrients so that you will not forget it micronutrients what are these are nothing but your 10 less than 10 millimole per kg the plant require these nutrients less than 10 millimole per kg ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯೇನ್ರಾ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅಹೆಡ್ iron ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ in the form of your ferric ions what is it absorbed in the form of it is absorbed in the form of your ferric ions okay now it is an important constituent involved in what involved in the transfer of your electrons that too from ferridoxin and cytochromes ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ now it is reversibly oxidized to what and what Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus during your electron transfer it activates what are the enzymes catalase enzymes okay ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಿದು enzymes for the chlorophyll formation ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು for the chlorophyll formation moving ahead manganese it is absorbed in the form of what manganese ions it activates many enzymes involved in what and what photosynthesis respiration and nitrogen metabolism the best function is what splitting of the water and liberating the oxygen adu helidini manganese will act near your photosystem 2 where there is a photolysis happening that is just splitting of the water where proton and oxygen gets liberated amale question keltare how much of the photons required to split up the water how much of the photons is required if anybody takes a guess sweethearts anybody can take a guess how many photons required to liberate the protons and oxygens 2 are you sure darlings no umarani tappu kana tappu jyote yako idige tappa answer ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ನೀನು ಭೂಮಿಕಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಮಾ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಏನೋ ನನಗೆ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ನಾಳೆನ ನೀನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಾ ರಾಕೆ ನೀನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕಣ 3 ಅಂತೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಜೊತೆ ತೇಜಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪ ತಂದೆ ಬೇಡ ಕಣ 12 ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬಂತು ನಿನಗೆ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಮಾ ಮದನ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಅಂಜಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು ರಿಯಾಜ್ ಇಫ್ರಾ ನೀನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಫ್ರಾ ಅಂತ ಕರಿ ಅಂತ ಓಕೆ 4 excellent ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ remember this point you require 4 photons to break up a particular water molecules. Am I clear to remember that? Now moving ahead. Zinc. When zinc, it is usually obtained in a form of a zinc 2 plus ion. Again, it is a divalent ion. It activates various enzymes, especially carboxylases, and it is needed for the synthesis of what, darlings? It is needed for the synthesis of your oxygen. Okay. Now moving ahead. Copper, it is usually absorbed in the form of your cupric ions. It is associated with a certain enzymes involved. Especially, it is a reversible oxidized of copper and copper 2 plus. ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಚೈನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು ಬಂದ್ರ ಕಾಪರ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಬೋರಾನ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ. ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಬೇಕಾ, ಬೋರಾನ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು? Tell me one particular thing why calcium is required. Why calcium is required? One major thing. Maheshwari, beg answer madappa. Why calcium is required, makle? Why calcium is required, makle? Excellent. Shivaranjini, Shruti, very good, makle. Pollen tube. Amale. Excellent, Ashida. I am very happy, makle. You are answering very nice. Bone growth, ma. Anusha, plant al maatadtidre neenu ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀಯ? Okay, very good, makle. Very good. Excellent. Spindle fiber, very good. I like that answer also. Sridevi, very good. Ammu, Pooja, Mallikarjuna, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಕಣ್ರೋ. Excellent ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೂರಜ್ ಅದು ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಜ್ಜಲ್ ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರಾಣಿನ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ PG ಅಂತ ಏನ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ, PG ಪೋಲೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಇರ್ಲಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. Very good ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. Very good. Okay, so excellent. So cell elongation and cell differentiation. So that is also the function of a boron, and pollen germination. Moving ahead, makla. Molybdenum, it is absorbed as a molybdenum ions. It is a component of several enzymes, including nitrogenase and nitrogen reductase. So all these are the functions of what, makla? The molybdenum. Okay. Moving ahead. Chlorine, it is absorbed in the form of chlorine anion. It helps in determining of the solute concentration and especially the cation anion balance. Divangal balance beku makla, plant go balance beku, adakke chlorine beku. Okay na? So it is essential for the water splitting reaction photosynthesis. So a reaction that leads to the oxygen evolution. Okay. So as I told you, along with manganese, darlings, you also require the chlorine where it leads to the splitting of the oxygen. Now moving ahead. Deficiency is symptom of essential element. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿಯಿಂದ ಹೆಂಗ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಗೂ ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ನಾವು ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. Concentration of essential element below which retarded is called as critical concentration. I repeat again. What is the concentration? It is nothing but the concentration of essential element. Essential element is the concentration like your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ below which plant growth is retarded. Okay? Akasmat, if you don't have those particular nutrients, okay, and where the plant growth will be stopped. Now that's called as your critical concentration. Okay. Now moving ahead. Due to the deficiency or absence of a particular element, the plant shows some of the morphological changes, and that's called as a deficiency symptoms. Now example, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಮನ್ಸಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಇವಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬೈ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆ, ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವರೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಳೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವ್ರಿಗಿಂತ. ಸೊ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವ್ರು ಬಂದು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ಆ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅದೇ ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್. Am I clear to you? So plant allo ashte, if at all any nutrient is deficient like nitrogen, okay, if nitrogen is not there, what will happen, darlings? Your leaves will immediately turn yellow, showing darling I'm deficient of something. Okay, so that's called as your deficiency symptoms. Okay makka, now moving ahead. For elements that are actively mobilized and exported to young developing tissues, the deficiency symptoms appear first in the older tissues. Example, deficiency symptom of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium are visible first in the senescent leaves. Now I want you to listen what is the actual meaning of the statement. Makale, this is your younger leaf. This is older. Okay, now usually many of the nutrients will be supplied in the particular older leaf. Okay, like your nitrogen, potassium, and your magnesium. Usually ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ older leaves ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay ನೆನ್ರಾ? So from the older it will be exported into your younger leaves. ಇವಾಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬೈ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಡಿಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಏನಂತ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಓಲ್ಡರ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಓಲ್ಡರ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಯಂಗರ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. Am I clear to you? Now imagine nitrogen became less. So obviously who will show you the senescence first? Senescence ಅಂದ್ರೆ aging, yellowing. Okay, so yaar first ತೋರಿಸೋದು, younger leaves or older leaves? It will always be your older leaves which shows. But remember the nutrients. So am I clear? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ younger leaves ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, in the actively mobilized. Mobilize ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? The nutrients which you can move around. Say, am I clear to you? ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ mobilized. Am I clear to you? So in the mobilized particular nutrients, so like your nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, remember this, which are the mobilized particular nutrient anta keltare. Am I clear to you? Which are the elements which are actively mobilized? Darlings, it is your nitrogen, potassium, and magnesium. Okay, so in the mobilized nutrients, the deficiency, the nutrients will be first seen in the older leaves. Arthakidya, moving ahead. In older leaves, biomolecules containing these elements are broken down. It makes these elements available for mobilizing to the younger leaves. Mean to say, it will be broken down into the smaller parts, so that it will be moving into your younger leaves. Okay, so remember, mobilized for nutrients. Mobilized nutrients will show in which leaves? Older leaves. Now, if elements are relatively immobilized and are not transported out of the mature organs, the deficiency symptoms first appear in younger tissues. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ. Last time was your mobilized. Now you are seeing is your immobilized. Am I clear to you? So immobilized. Now again I am taking an example. Older leaves and younger leaves. Okay na? Now which are the particular elements? Now see the elements like a particular sulfur, calcium. Okay. So these are usually the immobilized elements. Okay. And if they are not transported out of the mature organs, so the deficiency symptom will see in who? ಇವಾಗ ಬರೀ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀನು ನಾನು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳಂಗೆ. Am I clear to you? So that is into your particular younger leaves. Now sweetheart, where do you find these particular deficiency now? You see them in the older leaves or younger leaves? You see them in the older leaves or younger leaves? Obviously it will be your younger leaves. Am I clear to you? Because why? These things didn't go to the younger leaves at all. So obviously younger leaves will show the deficiency symptom. Answer now first point, if at all the nutrients are mobilized, okay, if they are mobilized nutrient, okay, and if at all there is a deficiency in the nutrient, older leaves or younger leaves will show this particular deficiency. Older leaves or younger leaves, if it is a mobilized one. If it is a mobilized one, good morning Abhi, ivaga adana answer mada. Excellent Shruti, excellent Sangeeta. H is also excellent Amu, very good ma'am, very good. Deepa, very good. Ellu ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಯನ ಪುಟ್ಟ ನಾನು ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, older leaves. Okay, in older leaves mobilized, in ಹಾಕಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, mobilized older leaves. Am I clear to you? So remember it always like this, mobilized older leaves. ಭೂಮಿಕಾ ನಾನು ಬೆಳ್ಕಂತ ನೀನಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನೀನಲ್ಲ ಆಡಮ್ಮ ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ ಹಿಂಗಾರ ಅಂತ. Excellent Nidhi, very good. Okay, so excellent Makar. So it is your older leaves. Now the second question I will only tell, if it is a younger if it all is an immobilized nutrients, okay, if it is an immobilized nutrients, then you see the particular deficiency in what children? In the younger tissues. Mobilized older leaves. Younger leaves are in particularly immobilized. Immobilized, you are seeing in the deficiency symptom in the younger age. Okay, now okay. Moving ahead. Okay, now few of the terminologies, which is that chlorosis. Now, since when we use a term called as chlorosis, it is a loss of chlorophyll leading to the yellowing of the leaves. What is it? It is a loss of or the degradation of the chlorophyll. Okay, where your chlorophyll will be keeping on degrading. Then this will lead to the turning of the greenish leaves into the yellowish leaves. Okay. Now it is due to the deficiency of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc, and molybdenum. Okay. So all these are particular elements which will lead to your chlorosis. Am I clear to you? Whereas coming to your necrosis, so in necrosis, it is a death of the tissues, particularly leaf tissues. It is due to the deficiency of calcium, magnesium, and your copper and potassium. Okay, so these are the particular chlorosis and the necrosis particular deficiency. Once again, I'm telling you, for chlorosis, it's a deficiency of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc, and molybdenum. Necrosis, it is your calcium, magnesium, copper, and your potassium. Now, low level or a lack of NKS, that is nothing but your nitrogen, potassium, sulfur, and molybdenum causes the inhibition of the cell division. So, low concentration of some elements like your nitrogen, sulfur, and molybdenum delays the flowering. Okay, so basically, lack of the NKS and molybdenum. Okay, so results in the cell the prevention of the or inhibition of the cell division. Low concentration of a particular nitrogen, sulfur, and molybdenum delays your flowering. Now, toxicity of your micronutrients. Okay, now what do you mean by toxicity of micronutrients? If at all some nutrients are required in a very less amount, okay, but if you supply it in a more amount, it will lead to the toxicity. Okay, just like your Jasti Amrudano, Vishantano ideal statement of RET. Am I clear to you? So, toxicity of the micronutrients, what is it? Even if it is a micronutrient should be always supplied in a lesser amount. But if you apply the micronutrients or supply the micronutrients in the more amount, then it turns out to be toxicity for the plant. Now, under that, excess of element may inhibit uptake of another element. Example, excess of manganese, okay, induces a deficiency of your iron and magnesium and calcium. Okay, I repeat again. See over here. Manganese by chance ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ. Okay, you supplied it more amount. The nutrients like your iron, magnesium, and calcium, ishtu it will become deficient. ಯಾಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್? Because it is a iron and magnesium for uptake. ಅಂದ್ರೆ iron ಮತ್ತೆ magnesium ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ಮ್ಯಾಂಗನೀಸ್. ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನಂಗೆ. So it will not allow the iron and magnesium get absorbed by the plant. Am I clear too? Whereas darling, for magnesium it is in the binding with enzymes. Andre your particular manganese instead of particular what to say magnesium absorbing, am I clear to you? This particular manganese will absorb, and that is why what will happen? All the three will become less. Am I clear to you? So I repeat again, okay? Manganese induces a deficiency of iron, magnesium, and calcium. Why? Iron and magnesium uptake ಅಲ್ಲಿ prevent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Along with that, magnesium by uptake alla prevent ಮಾಡೋದು, even with the binding also it will prevent. Whereas for the calcium, manganese will inhibit the calcium translocation in the shoot apex. ಅಂದ್ರೆ calcium translocate ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದು? Manganese. So these are the toxicity why your particular three elements are less. I repeat again, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Now manganese ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ. Am I clear to you? What all will be inhibited? Iron and magnesium. Okay, iron and magnesium ಏನು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದವು? Because they will compete with manganese while absorbing. ಅಂದ್ರೆ manganese absorb ಆದ್ರೆ iron ಮತ್ತೆ magnesium ನ prevent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬಡಿ ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನಂಗೆ. Okay, now along with that, magnesium is also inhibited. How? By the binding with enzymes. Okay, so magnesium first enzyme will bind agutte. It will not allow a particular manganese will go first and bind with enzymes instead of a magnesium.
So two ways they are inhibited. Now coming to your calcium, calcium transfer the binding and also it will prevent. Whereas for the calcium, manganese will inhibit the calcium translocation in the shoot apex. Andre calcium translocate ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದು manganese. So these are the toxicity why your particular three elements are less. I repeat again ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Now manganese ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ. Am I clear to you? What all will be inhibited? Iron and magnesium. Okay, iron and magnesium ಏನು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದ್ರು because they will compete with manganese while absorbing. ಅಂದ್ರೆ manganese absorb ಆದ್ರೆ iron ಮತ್ತೆ magnesium ನ prevent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬಡಿ ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನಂಗೆ. Okay na? Along with that, magnesium is also inhibited. How? By the binding with enzymes. Okay, so magnesium first enzyme will bind agutte. It will not allow a particular manganese will go first and bind with enzymes instead of a magnesium. So two ways they are inhibited. Now coming to your calcium, calcium translocation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ calcium ಒಂದು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ, ಈ calcium ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, but darling manganese will